100%.
Andrew, so how about if, like, for me, a bigger, more important issue is like abortions. Like, I think, how come guys aren't asking have you had an abortion? Have you had any abortions? Like, that to me would be like a really big sign, to your point of like, do I want to marry this woman? That's something that like, well, I know I'm just relating it to body count.
Wait, but how does that correlate?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I'm
I mean, it
saying-
correlates for the purpose
You
of
know what I'm saying,
accountability.
right? Okay,
I
yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So.
I do. I think it's a
don't
good point, right?
Yeah.
And it's set to the value structure.
Right,
So
yeah.
I think that if you were with a
Other split,
person
Nick.
or dating a person who was Christian, followed Christian
Yeah.
ethics,
Other split.
they likely would want your stance on abortion. I don't think
Yes.
they'd come right out and ask you.
Right.
Because sitting down at the first date and saying that you murder babies might be a little over the top, right?
Yeah.
But I think that they would at least ask your stance on this.
They put
Yeah.
that
I
moving
think
into
that's
it,
what I
right?
was getting confused at.
Yeah,
Is
I was
asking,
just
like
putting
not
it-
so much.
No, I would never ask
That's
that
a
on a
random
date.
because I think the typical
I'm just
person,
comparing it.
I guess, like the typical woman's not getting abortion, so I think that's a random question to ask. That's a very specific one.
Yeah, I was
But
relating it
I
to
would
the body
agree
count
that,
question
yeah, I think
thing.
it's important to
Yeah.
What do you
ask,
mean
like,
the typical woman's not?
Yeah,
getting
I think a
abortion?
lot of
What does
women
that mean?
do, and it's
What
really.
does that mean? What does that entail?
Yeah,
mean,
I think the
compared
typical
to-
woman is getting abortions. I think
Yeah.
you're completely wrong.
No, I
think
agree.
that that's
I
very
think-
typical.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess.
unfortunately.
I think, yeah, I agree.
Wait, is Plan B considered like abortion? Would you consider that
no,
abortion?
there's
I
some
wouldn't
different
consider
conversations going around on if like Plan B is considered an abortion. I would say that as far as like what research has been done, it's a preventative and it's not considered like a termination of pregnancy. When we're talking about abortion, we're
What do you
talking
mean it's
about-
not considered a termination of pregnancy? Well, what the hell is it? Is there a
Yeah.
life in the womb, or
Yeah.
is there not
so
a life?
So I fundamentally I don't agree with Plan B. Like I don't agree with it.
Yeah, that doesn't answer my
but
question.
I would say that Plan B, it delays ovulation, right? If I'm wrong, it would delay ovulation from occurring. Therefore, fertilization would not have a chance to occur, right? Like in the case of taking Plan B.
Is that Plan B, or is that the?
That's
But there's no life in
That's
Plan
the
B.
morning
Like, there's
after.
no kid in you
Plan
if you
B
have a
is the
plan,
morning after
you know?
pill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we're not
So
talking about, like,
There is an abortion.
mifepristol.
Okay, but there is an abortion pill.
You're
as
thinking
well.
Yeah, that's different.
mifepristol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no-
mifepristol
Yeah,
is
okay.
the one that terminates pregnancy after fertilization occurs. There's some IUDs that also make the uterus an inhabitable environment,
sounds so
which I
scary.
disagree with, which takes a fertilized blastocyst and terminates the pregnancy. So we could argue like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. So my position would just be for abortion. I think most people from the Christian purview, though mine would be even more extreme than this. I would at least concede to at least the rationale of there is no life there. Now you could make this
There is.
kind of extraneous. No, for Plan B, I thought you just said there wasn't.
Oh, not for Plan B. Sorry, I thought you
Well,
meant
yeah.
at
So for
conception.
Plan B, I think that you could make this as kind of extraneous as you want. You could say, well, we could get into semen itself being the seed of life and the different religious beliefs around that.
Yeah.
But I think we can at least stick with the idea that if there's no life present, most men would probably say, okay, you're not having an abortion here.
Yeah, there's like preventative, and then when you're talking abortion, you're talking the actual elective, like murdering of a baby in utero. So that's
Yeah. So,
different.
but that aside, when she's making the statement, she's actually asking about abortion itself.
Yeah.
So she's saying, okay, are you going in and having an abortion done? You said that's
Yeah.
not typical. I disagree. I think that's very
Yeah,
typical.
it's very typical.
I would say,
think
yeah.
it's
I mean,
very typical.
since I guess in the last decade, yeah. I mean, there have been 70 million abortions that have occurred, and
Pretty typical.
yeah, and I think per year it's like 2 million. I guess I misspoke on that. I think where I got like thrown off was if I were on a first date and a man asked me if I had an abortion, I guess I'd be thrown off, and of course I would say no, and that I'm pro-life. But it's just, yeah, I guess I just haven't heard that one before.
It was just a comparison. I don't think
Yeah.
people are saying that on dates. Maybe in the super Christian community, but it was just a comparison for the whole.
Well,
like
I do
how
have
I
to
was.
No, I don't think that they would. I think that they would try to gauge what your stance was on it in general.
That's good. I
Right? They'd
think
say, what is
asking-
your stance here on this?
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
then they could use an inference there, right? I don't even think most men would just come right out and ask you your body count either. They would use inferences first, right? But I don't actually see there being a problem with either question.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Hey,
think asking
have you
your
ever had an
stance is good.
abortion? Seems reasonable to me. That seems like a reasonable
Yeah.
question.